Welcome to Hela Mchangani, your educative agribusiness show. My name is Wari Mumbogwa. Now today it's all about urban farming, or you can call it bag gardening, how you can utilize small space to make cash out of it. Welcome back to Hela Mchangani. Now today we are joined by Julia, who will be telling us more about the urban farming or bag gardening. Thank you, Julia, for having us in your farm.
Pleasure too.
Yes. Kindly start by telling us what is bag gardening?
Okay, simply that's where we are in Lil Impact, Kichos Farm in Thika, and mainly what we do bag garden. Where the reason of going to bag garden is that the spaces are becoming smaller now and then. Manpower also is a problem, water also is a problem, and also we want to cut cost on several things. And actually when you come to bag gardening, you see it uses very little water. Like the bag that you can see here, it is holding more than 100 plants, and it uses only 20 liters of water per week. When you come to weeding, there's no weeding, so manpower is reduced. When you come to the system that we are watering with, it's drip irrigation, whereby you have only to open from the tank and the bag waters itself without actually involving so many people to do that work. And when you come to the productivity of this one bag that is covering 1 square meter, we are able to earn from it 200 shillings per week, which is also a source of employment.
Okay. What is this bag made of? Because I think we're used to the rural plastic nylon bags. What is this bag made of, and what is its advantage?
Actually, it's made from a very strong net, a very strong shade net that can last for 10 years. And you can use it many times, because if you hear the duration of 10 years, you can replant several times. It's actually like raising a shamba from somebody, because 10 years actually is a big duration. And when you come to cost effective, actually it is sold for 1,000 shillings and you can use it for 10 years. So you see actually it's cost effective also when you come to that side of the story.
What's the name of the bag itself? And where can one get it from if, I don't have space I don't have enough land, I need this bag. You said it carries 100 crops, more than 100.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the name of the bag first of all?
It's a special net that we use to make this bag, and actually the bags are available here. And if you are coming from any corner of the country, you can only SMS. You can also M-Pesa your money through our M-Pesa account, and then we can actually deliver them to your destinations. Yeah.
Okay, just get a bit into detail. I know you already said it can hold 100 crops. Yeah. Can you, because I see like this one has skumas, spinach, what is is there a problem of mixing many crops, or which crops can you mix together?
Mainly on the vertical side or on the surrounding part of it, actually we plant leafy crops, because they are the ones that can fit in the small holes that you can see on the signs. But the mixing of different crops is actually encouraged, because when you come to spinach, it gives only iron. When you come to skumawiki, it gives something else. When you come to amaranth, gives something else. When you come to nightshade, gives something else. And also on top you can plant tubers like carrots, beetroots, sweet potatoes, maize, as we will see in the process that we have maize that is growing on top of the bag, and it's actually doing very well.
Does it, you said about water, how does it work when you're watering your plants?
We have said it is using 20 liters per week. Why is it using 20 liters per week? It's because when actually you plant the cloves out of the bag, they have covered everything. When you have planted something on top, it reduces evaporation rate, so we water only the rice per week. And actually 20 liters are able to maintain the whole bag without extra liters being added. And this is not the only bag that we have. We have a medium bag that is holding 80 plants. We have a smaller one that is holding 50 plants. And the one that is holding 50 plants is only using 5 liters per week. And actually, if you see the margin of 5 50 plants, actually it's a big number of plants using only 5 liters of water.
When you grow like the spinach, let's say when you harvest it, do you put them back there like the seedlings? Do you put them in the same holes, or how does it work?
Seedlings, we propagate them in the nursery first. We transplant them to this bag when they are 1 month old, and they last in a bag for 7 good months while harvesting. But after 7 months, you have to remove everything because the nutrients in the soil actually will have been exhausted by the plants, and then you refill your bag once more.
Yeah. Okay, I see like the holes here. How do you put your manure?
Okay, before you make the bag, you have to mix your mixture of DAP, lime, soil, and also animal manure, because we know animal manure has a lot of nitrogen that will actually boost your crops, because leafy crops need a lot of nitrogen, and the only source of nitrogen is from the animal manure. And you see the ratio is 1:1 because they need a lot of nutrients, because they don't have anywhere to look for nutrients. They have to look for the nutrients from the bag. And adding that mixture actually will be able to make them last for 7 good months without adding any other thing.
Okay, how viable is this kind of farming commercially?
Let's say it's very viable, because when you come to a bag like this that is covering a single meter, and a single meter is holding 100 plants, and those 100 plants you're harvesting 2 leaves per week, you can multiply 2 leaves by 200, you are getting so many leaves. So even a single family cannot finish those leaves unless you go commercial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So Julia, I've seen you've done some intercropping with the bean plant and spinach. What is the advantage of intercropping in the sack?
Actually, the main aim of intercropping is that to get everything available for the family that the family needs, because when you plant one type of crop, especially when you plant spinach will only provide iron on that side. When you plant skuma only, will only provide vitamin A. But when you intercrop that way, we have beans that are going to provide protein. We have spinach that will provide iron, skuma wiki that will provide vitamin A. We have also amaranth that is very rich in vitamin C. We have also shade net that is also very rich in iron. So when you actually intercrop, and also have maize for your starch, you can also have Irish potatoes for your starch also. You can have sweet potatoes, maybe the orange one that will give a lot of carotene. And in one bag you can actually have a balanced diet from a single meter.
And which are the crops that you should not mix?
In this farming, there is no limitation, because every crop is very important in every person's body, because when you come to carbohydrates, you need them. When you come to protein, everybody needs, only that you need in different ratios. So when you are planting, you apportion every meter according to what you need more. If you need a lot of spinach in your diet, you add more plants of spinach. When you need a lot of skuma wiki, maybe those people who like ugari, they plant being more, but they must have the intercropping type of it. And another aspect, when you intercrop with onions or dania, you are going to repel some insect. So you are actually going to be preventing your crops from dangerous insects that are going to damage your plants because of the smell. If you can also accommodate things like herbs, rosemary, lemon basil, mint, you are actually going to repel so many insects even without using the chemicals. So actually it's encouraging for farmers to intercrop. And actually when you come to manpower, or maybe you are going to the shamba to collect vegetables, you minimize the time of going from this bag to another. You go just from one bag and you harvest everything at a go. So it's also time saving. Yeah.
So if I want to start today this urban farming, what do I require? How much will it require for me to get this bag?
You see, farmers come with different ideas. Some say they don't want drip irrigation, so the cost goes low because they are going to use the watering can. But we encourage people to use drip irrigation because it's actually time saving. But when you come to a single bag like this one, to start with, from manure, soil, DAP fertilizer, the bag itself, and also the manpower, the one to build the bag for you, you require like 4,500, and that is done. And for 7 months you pick without a struggle when you have spinach. But when you have intercropping, you can also go 1 year for the skuma wiki and other viable vegetables like amaranth, shade net, because they will stay for many months when you harvest.
You've heard it from Julia. The bags are really cost effective. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll hear more about this type of urban farming.
Maybe like a carpet. The evaporation rate will be low because there is no direct sun that is hitting your bag, the soil.
Welcome back to Hela Mchangani, your educative agribusiness show. And today we are talking about urban farming, where you can actually grow many crops in one sack. And Julia is our farmer for today, who's explaining to us more about this kind of farming. Julia, so you can continue to tell us what is the spacing required for 2 sacks to be together, yeah?
Okay, for your crops to perform well without actually shading one another, or maybe when you are spraying it becomes very difficult for you, we recommend 1 square meter from one bag to another. May it be even in a zigzag way, it should be 1 square meter. May it be very straight, like the way you can see this straight line, you should be having 1 square meter apart.
Okay, and how many, can anyone do this kind of farming? And how much space does it require?
Actually, we are saying everyone can do this, even the disabled people, because actually after the bag is built, they don't need to do so much work. It's only the picking and watering. And when you involve drip irrigation, you see, it will be very automatic for even disabled people to do that. For the aged, because we know so many people retire and they have nothing to do, they can do this because the manpower that is involved is very little. And for commercial purposes, this is actually earning a lot, because 1 square meter having 100 plants is actually wonderful. And you have heard from me the income that we are getting from a single bag per week. We are getting 200 shillings, and when you have like 10 bags, you are sure of getting your 2,000 per week, which is actually something that is reasonable for a Kenyan mwananchi nowadays. When you have 100, you can realize a very, let's say, it's more than even being employed in the government offices nowadays. Even being an MP, when you have 500, there's no need of fighting for politics. You can have it and harvest it comfortably without actually having so many things in your mind. Yeah.
So it's called urban farming, meaning that even I can also do it in my balcony. You said there are smaller sacks than this?
There are smaller sacks than this. There is a smaller one than this that we are calling standard bag that is holding 80 plants. But for small family, maybe a single person, there is a small bag that is holding 50 plants. And also those special bags, small ones, we are planting tomatoes in them to avoid the bacteria wilt in the farms. We are also planting strawberries for those families that want to have nice strawberries without actually contact with the soil. You can plant it in a bag, and you can also be able to sell even in the market, even though you are in the urban center, because you are going to cover very few meters to have those bags.
Yeah. So I see here you've done beetroot, tomatoes. I think you have like how many crops? Spinach. There's nothing wrong with mixing all this together.
As I said earlier, when you have 1 meter, you must utilize it in the right way, considering that we need different nutrients every day. And some things like beetroot are very expensive in the market. And they are doing very well in these bags because there's no obstruction, because the mixture here is very soft, so they do very well. You can see the sizes are really attracting, very big sizes. When you come to carrots, they are also doing very well, as you have seen in another bag behind us. When you come to dania, it's also doing very well, and also it's acting as a repellent to the insects that are going to attack our crops. And also when you come to dania, you save seed because it regrows, you cut, and it regrows again. You cut cost of planting and also seed cost. So intercropping actually is really encouraging. Because when you come to a bag like this, you are not able to finish all the beetroots that you are getting from this bag. So you can sell few pieces, buy what you don't have in the kitchen. When you come to the tomatoes, they become very expensive, and people are using a lot of chemicals in the tomato farming nowadays. You can avoid that by having 2 or 3 plants in a single bag. So actually it's cost effective when you use these bags at home, or even when you go commercial. They are really a nice farming that we are encouraging people to embrace.
And they're not affected by water or the sun, too much sun. It doesn't affect the bags.
When it rains, you see there's no contact that the rain has with the soil because the bag is covered. And when you come to rain, actually it will go slanting. It will not actually affect the roots. When you come to soil-borne diseases that come from the soil, these ones are free from that because they don't have contact with the soil. When you water them, the evaporation rate also is minimal because the whole area is covered.
Do you have like a specific size supposed to be for the bag itself? Is it supposed to be on a specific size?
Not really, because we have different sizes. We have the large one that is holding 100 plants. As I said earlier, we have a medium one that is holding 80 plants, a small one that is holding 50 plants. But the funny thing or the special thing with this bag, it's like a tube. So many people buy it and they call us back. Hey, you have sold us something else apart from a bag. We know bag has a bottom. Your bag doesn't have a bottom. Ours is like a tube to discourage the damage from the insect that live underneath. So actually when it is starting this way, there's nothing that is covered at the bottom. So the technology of building the bag is very unique. If you buy a bag from here and you are not taught on how to build it, it will be very hard for a farmer to do it.
So
it needs a specialist to do this work. Yeah, and as you may say 1 meter, maybe you will take very few wheelbarrows or few kilos of soil and manure. It is taking 17 wheelbarrows of the mixture, like half a ton of soil. Okay. Yeah. So it's a special bag with that because the stretching power is there and you cannot tear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As an expert in this industry, where do you see the future of farming in Kenya?
Actually, as the people are moving towards the urban farming, people in the rural areas have very big farms that are idle, doing nothing because some are aged. They can't do a lot of work. But when actually they are taught to take this modern farming as their another new method of farming, it will be very easy for them to produce a lot for our country because there will be little manpower or less manpower. And also those people in urban towns, when they are actually we encourage them to take this kind of urban farming because they will be eating very clean vegetables, free from chemicals, because they are going to be able to grow their own vegetables, whereby we are also going to reduce the cases of cancer because people are getting cancer because they are eating chemical residues from the vegetables, and we eat vegetables on a daily basis. So in near future, I think even our government should come in and educate different counties on this method because it's time saving, water saving, manpower saving, and actually very small space can be of better use instead of people saying we don't have inheritance, we did not inherit farms from our grandparents. Refugee camps also you can use this method to have food supply. Schools that have school feeding programs, their compounds are very idle, doing nothing. They can use those compounds to feed those children that are coming daily in those schools, even without putting a burden to their parents. Because if the parents supply only the grains, the school can be able to supply the vegetables and also sell the surplus to buy textbooks for the school. So we really encourage this type of farming because it is actually cost effective.
Wow, so I can see this one has maize.
Yeah, because we want to have the starch in our diet, you can't only have vegetables only, you have to have ugari, you have to have boiled maize for our good nutrition value. Also here we have Irish potatoes for the starch. People like chips, so we are not going outside to buy potatoes. We are encouraging farmers to do mixed cropping because every crop it has a value in the family.
Yeah.
And also here you can see we have spinach. Here we have farmers with rabbits. Nowadays we have had rabbit business that has become a very interesting business, but maybe they want to keep the rabbit in town and they don't have as big space to plant animal fodder. We are encouraging them to use the same bag to grow animal fodder because animal fodder is doing very well, as you can see here. On this side we have Rusan. Rusan is highly nutritious when you come to feeding our animals. So rabbits, dairy goats, cows, even chicken. When it's dry, you give to chicken. Actually, you are reducing cannibalism in your hand. And also, when you cut all these that you have grown here, it regrows again after 7 days. So you see it's cost effective. Because you are going to cut Rusan, you mix with the sweet potato vines, maybe you have some dry matter in your store, and then you are sorted. You can actually have dairy goats, you can have rabbits in actually the same square meter. And 1 square meter, when actually it's fully grown like here, you can feed 10 rabbits. And you have dry matter in store because here you need only a few grams to mix your animal fodder. When you have hydroponic that people are doing now in the houses, you only have to have 2 bags.
Wow.
So it's actually very cheap for people who are actually doing the dairy farming or the meat kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if farmer wants to learn about this, what kind of training does Real Impact give?
We encourage farmers to come for trainings, and those people who cannot even afford or get time to come for trainings, we offer them farm tour. They come and tour our farm because we are doing different things. We are doing the back garden, we are doing the chicken layering, we are doing the rabbit keeping, we are doing the dairy goats, we are doing vermiculture, we are doing compost, we are doing several things in this farm.
Is there like specific particular training for the bag gardening?
We are now doing it as a special thing, bag gardening, because we have been having microfinanciers who want to finance people to do it as a business because they have seen it is working. And now even we are almost finalizing with the one microfinancer that is ready to give loan or to offer loans to the farmers who are interested and they can't afford. So they come here and do a course that we call bag garden farming. And then the microfinancier pays for them, give them the loan, and then they will service the loan after 2 months after they have started picking their vegetables. But the initial thing they must do is to have a training here so that they can get the skills of building the bag and how to plant and how to do the crop protection. And also the business skills. How do you sell your produce? Yeah, so we train them first on bag making. They go to the bank, the microfinance, they are trained on the financial handling, and then we supply everything to them. From the irrigation kit, from the bags, the seedlings, fertilizers, the slow release fertilizer that are going to be lasting in the soil for 7 or 1 year without even adding more other fertilizers in the same bag.
Thank you very much, Julia, for having us in your farm.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So you've heard it from Julia. You can actually plant so many crops in one UV ray sack and actually earn a lot. This has been Hela Mchangani. I have been your host, Wairimu Mbogwa. Join me next time, same time, different location.